computer tells me we're live, Jane.
That's good.
Fingers crossed,
Let's
eh?
hope.
Good morning, everybody. You'll have to forgive me today for being clung to my laptop, but I'm all things today.
Yes.
I'm gonna
All
present a
you're
bit.
everything.
Yeah, I'll present. I'm not demoing though. Oh, thank God I'm not demoing. No, that's your job, Jane. This morning I am teching and such as well because our lovely office child is not here. She's in Manchester. How rude. How rude, SJ, not being here with us today. No, she'll be back next week, so that's all right.
That's
we'll
good.
let her off, but we've got a lot to do today.
We have.
Starting with said beautiful make here. Good morning and welcome to Elisa Chandler make using Robert Kaufman fabrics on Natasha makes. It doesn't get any better than that in my book.
You can't ask some more, really.
She's a beaut, isn't she?
Gorgeous.
Had all sorts of fun with this morning. So I had the kits all set up to set themselves live. They've decided to set themselves live when they wanted. And there's a flurry of activity on the website. I know that these kits are disappearing really, really quickly. So if you are in love with today's quilt, and we have it in two beautiful colourways, then as much as we'd love you to listen to what we're saying, you might want to be tapping on the website at the same time. And if you have things in your basket, especially these quilt kits, I would check them out to avoid disappointment.
Yeah, you don't want to miss out.
We're not pushy here and about the hard sell. We're really not. But I just know if people are
We're
disappointed,
limited, aren't we? We're limited with the kit numbers,
we'll
and
be
of
very
course,
upset.
you know.
Yeah. We don't like to say no to people, but we've cut every last thread of this fabric.
We've been frugaling it in every possible combination.
So you will see on the website today, not only have we cut the quilt kits for today's quilt, we've got it here in the pink ivory colourway. We also have the colourway that Jane's going to demo in, which is the mint nude.
Which is rather
Beautiful.
sumptuous.
We have those available. Those kits are already cut. We have then also put up Jane's completed quilt, which of course we only have one of.
Thanks, Izzy.
And the quilt top that she'll be working on today as well with the binding fabric. So if you want to save yourself the bother of piecing your quilt top, why not buy that? You'll have your binding fabric in there. Add yourself in about 1.5 meters of our 80-20 Fleecelina 279.
Yeah,
like,
that's
don't
right,
you?
yeah. I love 80-20 wadding.
And then you'll need 3 meters of standard width fabric. Jane, on this one, you have used the very stunning small floral from Lisa Chandler, haven't you?
Yes, I just thought it was just perfect to go on the back of that. It's just so pretty.
That's right. Oh, gorgeous. Look, I've now just ruined your display. It won't took right. I'm going to just do that, Jane, and let you go and twist with it and make it look beautiful. Yeah, we have lots and lots to discuss, Jane.
We
Lots and
have.
lots.
There's some beautiful things.
I do feel I need to say hello to everybody, and I will now, but I've said the important bit.
That's the most important thing.
Or ready-made samples, they will go, I would say, very quickly. So grab them quick while you can. But in the meantime, let me just check everyone can hear us and that we've got everyone here. All present and correct, Jane.
Let's hope so.
We have Sue, she says hi, and Jimmy, good morning, everyone.
Morning, Jimmy.
Claire Everett says morning, everyone. Oh, the boss is here. She says, morning, I just love this. Don't we all? But we're hoping the quilt doesn't sell. Because Jane and I said, I'd pay more than that for it. So let's hope that doesn't sell and then we can buy it. Oh dear.
I don't think Natasha would be too pleased if it didn't sell. But
No. Oh, we could buy it. It's
Yeah.
fine.
Those shares is have 6 months each.
But there's 2 colourways.
Well, that's true.
Yeah. All good. And actually that's the thing, you know, if you get today's demo top, then buy your wadding and buy your backing and quilt it yourself and bind it yourself.
Yeah, you can say you've made it yourself.
You can say,
No
wow, or that you've collaboratively made it with Jane.
Yes.
It's quite nice, isn't it?
Yeah.
Claire Angelina says, morning Jane and Gemma, loving the florals. I live in floral dresses. We like floral.
We do love a floral.
Demonstrated here. Evelyn says, good morning, as does Rona. How are you feeling, Rona? Tash says she'll happily keep it if it doesn't sell. I think there'd be a fight. That's part of the reason it's gone up.
Yeah.
Is there would be a bicker as to who got it.
We have spent the whole time since this fabric came in just oohing and ahhing over it, haven't we? It's been stroked a lot while it's been on the bolt. On the bolt,
off the bolt, in the kits, yeah. And so have you. You've all gone crazy for this fabric. So a week ago we brought to you, Natasha made a fantastic little project.
She did, her little fold-out case. It's gorgeous.
Now the fold-out case just sold in milliseconds. And I know, again, there were people disappointed. So Jane and I yesterday diligently made sure that all of the quilt kits for today are cut. We were confident these are going. because you've all been scrabbling wanting them.
Yeah.
So they're all sorted, they're cut, packaged, ready to go.
Yeah.
Just need a label putting on them. We did that. We have then got every last tiny scrap of the fabric that's left in this collection, and we've done something with it. So because we know how popular the fold-out case was, one of the things we've done is make some kits up, and they are very, very, very limited. I can't see currently because I'm doing all the other things as well on the system, but it may be that some of these have gone already. But we have the 4 different options. Should we go into overhead and have a quick
shall I
peek?
bring the case down just to remind people which one we were?
Definitely.
This is such a beautiful little case. It's got 2 zips on it, so you can. It's been filled with. It's got little sides to it, hasn't it? So it folds right out.
It does.
And becomes a square case.
Which is fabulous, because Jane, you've always said, makeup bag and things wise, you can never find the thing.
No, it's always right at the bottom. You end up taking everything out to look for what's something that is always at the bottom that you need first. So that's the case. And then it's got these lovely tabs at the side, and you can just bring the zip up. And it just folds into the middle like that, and a lovely little handle to carry it with.
It is a really, really lovely, lovely make. Oh.
I mean, this is one of the most versatile little cases I think we've had, because this would be ideal for taking to your workshops when you're doing a retreat or you know, your weekly, monthly workshop that you go to with your friends, for your tools.
Pens, pencils.
You know, you're going to get your rotary cutter in there, no problem. Your rotary cutter will fit in this case, along with all your pens and everything else. And then when you get to your workshop, you've got it all there in front of you.
Yeah.
Easy access. Just lift it all out and keep it all together at the same time, because I've been at workshop and picked up other people's equipment by mistake and vice versa. So, you know, you've got an easy access, easy to view, and a nice little handy case to hold everything in, and also for your makeup. It'd make a lovely gift for a teenager, wouldn't it, to put their makeup in?
It's been very much admired. Now, I made a sample up in the green, which is stunning, incidentally. I haven't got it with me. How annoying. Should have brought it in, shouldn't I? But it makes up really nicely. Natasha's written these instructions, and they've come with a template, and it's just lovely to make. I've really enjoyed it. So I'm going to make
pink
some more.
version there, look, with the lovely rose gold. We haven't got any more of this fabric left, but
you can see how it looks great in all different fabrics. Now, for my money, you've got beautiful Japanese chrysanthemums and shaggy and various other brilliant cave prints that will also really suit this. It's a 2.5 metre make, 2 fat quarter make. So fat quarter of your outer, fat quarter of your lining, 0.5 metre of zip and 2 zip pulls. That's all you need to make that little case. So those instructions are ones that I definitely recommend you have in your repertoire / armoury.
Absolutely. I think it's one of those things that you'll be able to use to make, you know, a last minute gift for anybody.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because it's such a versatile little case. I mean, you could make that in a more masculine fabric for a young man to keep his pens and pencils in and all sorts of things.
For sure. Yeah, or, you know, little wash bag shaving items and all that kind of thing. So these are the 4 colourways that we loaded up. I can't guarantee they're all still there, because I know, again, I've seen a flurry of activity of people purchasing these, but we have gone down to the very last of our stock of these fabrics to make these kits here. We then had 38 centimetres at the end of the bolt on that one. So I've put it up as a 38 centimetre increment. Buy that if you can, if it hasn't already gone. It's a lovely piece. When we say it's 38 centimetres, you know, you're only 12 centimetres off your 0.5 metre, aren't you?
Yeah.
It's a nice big piece. So plenty there to work with. So I just thought, you know, that's going on. That is going on as a pre-cut. I've now folded the label, and we can't do that. That will confuse everybody. Okay. So yes, those are or were on the website. I can't guarantee anything. We don't make empty promises, Jane. We don't.
We try not to.
We really try not to. Let's have a little look at everyone's messages, though. Natasha says she's never more begrudgingly agreed to sell anything.
I know. Well, normally any offcuts as well end up in Tash's stash, don't they? But I think we've used everything.
There are some tiny little scrapettes. I mean, they're too small for EPP, really, but there's a little pile on Natasha's desk in the corner because we just feel a bit bad
Can't put
that
it
she's
in.
not had any. and it's her fabric, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. But it's yours, and that's the important thing. Elizabeth Crangle says, I nearly missed you. I was watching Chris Hemsworth interviews. I can understand that.
Yes,
Yeah.
I was going to say, you know,
As Chris Hemsworth.
we get it.
Can he sew, though? Can he?
No.
He probably can, you know. Just to be annoying.
Not a very nice husband either.
No, apparently not. So we hear. I know. Just because they're nice on the eye doesn't mean they're nice inside, does it? Jimmy says, good morning, Elizabeth. That's always nice.
It is.
It's always nice to see a little interaction between you all. Your mother's here.
Morning, Mum.
Morning. Morning, Kate. Yeah, it's all going on. Everyone's here. You're very headstrong going by your palm, Gemma. Ooh. When did you see my palm? That was a very quick flick, wasn't it? I'll come and see you, Auntie Lizzie. You can have a little look at my palms, can't you? We also have our viewers on YouTube. It says here, good morning from Gloucester Cromar.
Ooh.
Good morning. Nice
Good
to have you
morning.
with us. Jane, the kits. We'll
Yes.
show them.
Yes.
I don't know whether there's any left. We'll
We'll show them.
show them. They're a lovely kit.
They are.
Really lovely kit. And you've teamed this with some of our 100% cotton plain.
Yes,
And they're lovely. And they make said quilt behind us.
they do.
Oh, Lisa Charles says, I've lost track of days. Sorry, Lisa. We made your quilt, Lisa, look. Within that there Kaufman.
Isn't it pretty? It's so pretty.
Gorgeous, gorgeous.
I mean, it looks stunning on the picture because I can see on our monitor what it looks like, but it really doesn't do it justice.
No.
The metallics and the glistening of them.
Well, hopefully we'll see that
Yes.
on the overhead. If we can't, I'll go into close-up so you can see the detail on the fabric. But the brilliant thing about Lisa's design and why it complements this particular fabric so well is you've got this lovely opportunity to showcase these beautiful prints and give them a great big space to show off.
It's lovely. It really frames them. And if you've got a big print that you want to show off to its optimum, this is a great pattern.
And it, again,
and it's a lovely pattern. It's a lovely pattern to follow.
Yeah.
It's very straightforward. Ideal for a beginner because it really is squares. The only thing you need to be is quite organised, and I'll talk about that in a moment. But
brilliant for your Philip Jacobs, you know,
Cafe
Collective,
all of those
florals, or
you know, and I could see a really lovely vibrant cave with a dark sashing, you know, like a black or a navy on there. Really show it off. So
beautiful.
Yeah, it's a lovely pattern to show off your, you know, big prints, big bold prints. Yeah, lovely,
marvellous. Jane, the kits.
Oh,
let's have a little peep at.
This is the pink ivory. Now the main print on this is just chrysanthemums and dragonflies. The depth of print and the detailing, metallic.
You can see the metallic, I think,
on there. It really does. You can see it. It shimmers. The base cloth is such good quality. It's from Kaufman. You don't have to say anything else. No. This fabric is on par to Lisa's fabric. If you've used Lisa's fabric, you can't, you know, it's the base cloth is such a good quality that it cuts nicely, it hardly frays, it's just beautiful.
Oh, Anne Atwood says it's really beautiful, I can't stop looking at it. You and us both. Try working in a building with this stuff. It's
been
gorgeous.
Stroking it lots. We've got the ivory, our nice plains that go nicely, just lifts it slightly, just a little bit lighter. And then there's 3 fat quarters of this beautiful navy. And then the dragonflies on natural. And you can see how that metallic shimmers. It's just got a vibrancy to it. And the dragonflies, there's an ombre of colours within the pinks and the blues in there. That again, just add to that iridescence. Just like real dragonflies' wings, that when they catch the light, they change colour. Beautiful. And then the chrysanthemum. Look at the colours in that. That is just a stunning fabric.
This is Mum's Peach.
Which is weird because it's pink.
We've been doing this.
Yeah.
For the
it's
entire
got
time
a really deep plummy pink there going through to a really pale, soft, blossomy pink. It's just lovely. And again, the gold accents which just add depth to it. It's...
These are very elegant, classy tones as well, aren't they?
Yes.
There's not a hint of Barbie pink inside.
No.
It has its place, but not in this quilt, thanks.
We dithered about whether we were going to put a plain in for binding.
We did,
and I'm
glad you didn't. So.
And then I said, please can I use the Kaufman for the binding as well, because I just felt plain would be too harsh, because we were going to put a navy with it, but I'm glad that
and if we look,
I was allowed to use it. It
that
just
little hint around the edge.
It's just a softness to it.
These blocks
yeah.
as well. Just look.
I think if we had used a plain, it would have been a real heavy binding, which is not really what you want.
No.
Because it just finishes off those beautifully. So you've got a piece there that's enough for your binding. So when you get your kit, you might look and think, well, why have I got two pieces the same? The larger piece is for your binding.
Yes. Sue Langford says it's just too pretty.
Yeah, well, you wait till you see the... What have we called this?
Now, the second colourway is your favourite, isn't it? So that's your ivory pink, which I do believe has sold out. This is our mint and nude. Mint and nude.
Now, we are very much within Natasha Makes, it's sort of telling by Natasha's logo, really. We are very much a teal, sea greens, sea colours, aren't we? And I am drawn to turquoise. Turquoise is my favourite colour. So, you know, if you pushed my arm up my back and demanded me to tell you which one was my favourite, which I'd find it very hard to do, I think I'd have to say this one. That is our nude, which again, it's a lovely soft cream, but it's a deeper cream. It's got more of a cappuccino-y colour to it, which again, just picks out these lovely shaded accents in the cream chrysanthemums on there. There's a lot of thought goes into this, you know.
There is.
We've then got the small floral with a deep green background, which is just stunning. There's a richness to that. Look at these dragonflies. I think this is my favourite.
It's beautiful, isn't it? And again,
it's just gorgeous.
We made pouch kits up in this. The pouch, well, the fold-out case, gorgeous in that.
It's lovely. And again, iridescent sort of feel to the dragonflies on there with the metallic accents and the shading of the like blues. It's like a cornflower blue and a lovely teal green. It's really pretty.
The rainbow elements, isn't there, peeping through that? It's just lovely.
Now this fabric, we've been fighting over this one because any little scrap of this and we'd be like, can I have that please? Look at that. That is the chrysanthemums, but again, it's a shading of the colours. You've got this lovely soft jadey colour in the background, which isn't obvious until you really look at it. And then this lovely cornflowery blue with the pinks, which they're calling peach.
This is my favourite fabric.
And the cream. And again, each chrysanthemum is not a solid colour. There's shading in there, there's depth of design, and the metallic elements, which just set it off beautifully. It's just such a pretty, pretty fabric.
It is absolutely beautiful. That is my favourite fabric from the collection. We all have a favourite, and I know you're all loving it as well. I have to say, Jane, they've broken our hearts already.
Have somebody bought the quilt? Well done you.
Both. The sample
I haven't even finished making the sample one yet.
And the sample quilt top have now sold. Yes, well thank you for loving it as much as we do. And there's a really important promotion that we've put together today that I think will allow us to see different angles on this quilt, because this pattern today is designed by the very talented and very wonderful, and she's here in the comments, Lisa Chandler. And she herself has many, many, many beautiful fabrics, Jane, doesn't she?
Absolutely.
So you'll have seen Jane backed the quilt in her small floral. Now, the one that she's used is the ivory gold. These, if you've not used them, they are absolutely beautiful. Again, the quality is there, the print is beautiful.
Even these small florals have got a shading to them. Yeah. The background fabric's got a little bit of a shading to it.
Should we go close
up, the flowers,
Jane, see if we can see any more detail on that in close-up camera?
And I love Lisa's metallics because they've got they're not a flat metallic. They've got like a shimmer to them, like almost glittery, which is the wrong word to use because it's not.
There's a sheen there.
It's got a movement to it.
Yeah.
It's not a flat metallic. Sometimes you get metallic fabrics and they're quite flat in certain lights, but whichever way you hold Lisa's fabrics, the metallics just shine.
There is. And I think with metallics, people can be concerned, oh, I don't like glitter, I don't like sparkle. Jane, you don't like it in your quilting necessarily, do you? It's not your most favourite thing. But with
I love a bit of sparkle, but
they're elegant. These are elegant, and that's the important thing. Now, what we will say about the small floral These are the quiet heroes of Lisa's fabrics, I would say, because within the small floral, you have shading, you have the different tones, the different colours, but these mix and match beautifully with other fabrics in Lisa's collection.
Yes, I mean, she's designed these specifically for that.
These are the most
There is
wonderful
not
blender.
really any of Lisa's fabrics that these don't go with.
No, and that's really where we're getting to with this today. So Lisa's pattern, you have, as you've seen here, you need a background, get 1.5 meters of a plain. You need your feature fabric. Again, if you get 1.5 meters of your,
yeah,
your sort of
you'll
main
have plenty.
panels. 3 fat quarters if you've got some Lisa Chandler in your stash. 40 centimetres needed for your binding. This here would be the most fantastic backing to mix and match with any of them, but you could use some of this as one of your fat quarters as well. So what we've done today is we have got a mega deal on these 4 small florals. They are a half bolt special. So that means you're getting 4.5 meters of the fabric at an absolutely incredible price. Jane, you need 3 meters to back the quilt.
Yes.
That gives you 1.5 meters left over to use within the front, so you could have some of your blocks out of this, and then other bits of Lisa Chandler that you know and love. And we just can't wait to see what you create with this.
No, I mean,
so we have 4
there's
colours.
nothing to stop you using this fabric for your sashing.
No, absolutely.
It would look stunning.
Absolutely.
It would look stunning. This makes great bag
And
linings.
it's the perfect amount for that as well.
Yeah.
3 meters for the back, 1.5 meters for your sashing.
Yeah.
Perfect.
If you've got a quilt that you want the backing to look as stunning as the front, and let's face it, sometimes you do, if you've got it on a piece of furniture as a feature, you want the back, to look. These are just good, and the price that Natasha's put them on.
And it's only today. This is a 1-day half.
You'd be crazy not to take this opportunity to get yourself a lovely, good chunk of Lisa Chandler fabrics. You've got the gold and ivory. Is this one just called ivory? Is it ivory and silver, this one?
Yes, so you've got your gold ivory first. This one here is your treble 03. They all start treble 039, which is ivory silver. So the first one's treble 0311, cream gold.
There's
this is ivory silver.
A little bit of shading in here on the flowers and on the leaves. So again, there's a depth of print in that. It's just not white, it's just not cream fabric with silver prints on it. There's, within the fabric, there's shading and movement in there. And again, it's not a flat silver. There's a shimmer to that really moves in the light, that just gives you, and the base quality. I can't tell you how nice the cloth is that Lisa uses as her base cloth.
Just lovely. And this one here is treble 035. This is the grey rose.
Now, it's called grey rose,
Yes.
and we always say, I don't know why it's got rose in the title, because there's no pink colour in this.
Tell us, Lisa, there's no pink in there. But it is beautiful shades of grey.
Shades of grey on a lovely soft grey back cloth, and then again the silver accents within that on the metallic that really do glisten. And then
Just lovely.
this is the prettiest one. This is the one that I think we were first introduced to as the small florals when we first had Lisa's, and I was just like, this is a gorgeous fabric. Beautiful rose pink colours, shades from dark through to paler, all shaded. They're tiny flowers. They're less than 0.5 centimetre across, these tiny flowers, but they've got shading in them going from dark in the middle through to light. And the greens are just pretty. And
Absolutely.
That's got silver accents with it as well.
But if you're a Lisa Chandler fan like we are, and you love her fabrics, and you have her fabrics in your armoury, this is one of those things you're going to come back to again and again. So a lovely big chunk, 4.5 meters, that's half a bolt in your stash at an absolutely crazy, crazy price.
It's a steal.
Just today. Flash
Grab
sale.
it while you can,
Yes,
because
yes,
you'll
yes.
regret it if you don't.
Auntie Lizzie's saying, are they aqualasia on the binding fabric on here? I think they are,
I can't tell you because I'm useless when it comes to flowers. I know daisies and buttercups and daffodils, and that's about it. Roses.
I think so. We'll have a little look on close up just so she can satisfy her curiosity, Jane. I'll just pop the cameras across, and I can take these lovely bolts out of the way. Oh, actually, one more thing we can show with those first, though. There you are.
Look at that.
Decide for yourself, Auntie Lizzie. I think there might be.
Just a beautiful colourway.
Lovely.
That's gorgeous.
Lovely, lovely. Now, something else that Natasha has made with the small floral, Yesterday, if you were here and sharp, you may have bought some super sparkly PU. And Natasha's made, this is her fold down pouch, isn't it?
Yeah.
And she's used small floral and the sparkly together and then lined it. And inside, you see, you've got these lovely elasticy bits and bobs to be able to put your bottles in.
Yeah.
And then it rolls down so you can see all your bits and bobs, but then there's a drawstring, she says. I'm using all my energy here.
But the pockets on the outside as well. Really handy.
Yeah, that's true. Pockets as well.
It's a lovely little tote.
So yes, this is such a versatile make. Quite often as well, this comes in as being the most beautiful bag linings for us.
Yes.
So your small projects as well as your big, it's not just for quilting.
Absolutely not.
Fabric is for life, not just for quilting.
Makes all sorts of wonderful things.
You're going to pull that up really easily now, aren't you, compared to me, Jane? Yeah, there we go. She can do it. Got no energy this week. Jane, I just feel like we've had all the beautiful things already, and yet there are more beautiful things. There were a couple of bundles; those have gone. There is no point us waving these.
No, but we can show these, can't we? Because they don't go live yet till midnight.
So for those of you who are joining us perhaps for one of the first times, or you've not seen us on a Wednesday before, every Wednesday we show you our half-metre heavens. Now these are a really cracking deal. We do them every week on a Thursday. They go live at midnight tonight. You get half a metre of your designer fabric. Retails normally around the £7.95 mark, and you get half a metre, of our plain. Yes. Which would retail at £3.99, but you get this as a bundle for £9.99.
Bargain.
And through the pandemic, etc., and all the price increases recently, Natasha's stayed firm with this price. I keep telling her the margins are getting squeakier, and it's not perhaps sensible business acumen. She's doing it anyway. So we will show you the half-metre heavens, enjoy them, and yes, get hold of these at midnight tonight, Jane, don't we? If you want to get the first one in place,
this is
into overhead. We had this one.
This is Humpback's Ballet.
I think it was last week even, with a different plain, and it's sold out super, super quick. So we wouldn't normally give you the last of our fabric straight away, but I do know that there were people disappointed that they missed out on this fabric a week ago. In fact, we had a lovely message asking us if we'd got any on the bolt to have a dress made out of it. Nope, sorry, it all got cut into pieces. This is the last of our fabric. It's brilliant, isn't it?
Isn't it lovely? And with really this, is it sunshine yellow?
Yes.
Yes.
The colour.
Really, just this vibrant. Again, it's got this depth to it. It's lovely. Spray.
And the movement as well.
Yeah.
Gorgeous.
So that's that one.
How many of those have we got, Jane? I think it's only half a dozen or 7.
6, yeah.
6, yeah, half a dozen. Look at that. So get those quickly, because that's one of those fabrics that we haven't had it before. We may not have it again.
This is
Studio KM, or is it?
Yeah, blue vases. Yeah. It's upside down because they're vases. Oh, it's one of those fabrics that goes up and down, so it's non-directional, which is lovely.
That's very good, isn't it, when you're making your pouches and things, not having to worry about which way up the fabric goes.
And we've put this with peacock, which there's a little tiny bit here.
Stunning.
And it just picks that blue up, which just lifts this lovely orangey red here.
Really, really beautiful.
And I love this. When you look at it, you don't see it, but from a distance you can see this diamond pattern within the fabric, which is rather lovely.
There's so many beautiful complementary colours in there as well, isn't there?
Yeah, you
I
could
love that
choose
little
lots.
Pop of chartreuse in there, and
yeah,
it's great. That would mix and match very well with your plain stash you've got at home.
It would, absolutely.
We've all got one. Little bits and bobs.
That's that one. Look at this. This is this fabric.
Anna Maria Horner, this one.
Look at the patterns in there. Again,
amazing.
You don't see it straight away, but there's like a diagonal pattern running through that. I just love these depth. And this is with our terracotta, which just picks up that background fabrics. Just lovely. I'm using that word again, trying not to. was thinking about all the words I could use instead of lovely this morning, and I was like, it's not going to work. It's my go-to word.
Yeah, it's our favourite. It is our favourite.
Everything's a lovely.
Here we go. So Chris is saying, so pretty, gorgeous colours. That's different words. There we are.
Look at this.
Apparently those weren't Appalachia, but they're very, very pretty. Can you use an iron on the House of Alistair pressing mat? Yes, that's what it's for. Absolutely.
Yeah. They're wool, and they're tailor pressing mats. They're what the tailors in Savile Row use.
They are indeed.
And they go with them wherever. So when they start off as apprentices, they're given a pressing mat like this, and then it stays with them for their career. So
now
they're long lasting.
This is a wowzer, isn't it?
I love this. This would it's just, you could have really good fun with this with your piecing, because you get a different pattern every time you cut a square.
Yeah.
It would make a fabulous bag lining.
Well, I was about to say, it would make a fabulous bag.
Well, yes, but I like the idea of opening your bag and having that inside.
Just telling someone, can you just go and get such and such out of my bag, and them opening and going, wow!
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be amazing. But this would be a phenomenal beach bag, wouldn't it?
Absolutely. Really nice. Again, this is a sort of pattern that you could put any of your planes with. It would work beautifully. We have put, I think it's just, it's our red. Yep, it's just called red. It's a beautiful colour. The next one, I love the softness of this print. This is Shell Rummel.
It is. We had a little sneaky peek of this fabric when we did the oven gloves.
Yes.
And you love this. So if perhaps you got that kit and you were making your oven gloves and you want to be able to do, Natasha's since done her really handy hanging towel, which this would be lovely.
Oh, wouldn't it? With the oven gloves. We've got a lovely navy, haven't we?
Absolutely.
Gorgeous on the back of that.
So I would say handy hanging towel. I would also say, Jane, especially if you've done your oven gloves, tea cosy.
Yes.
We've done a tea cosy in the past. And we've done all sorts, mug cozies, all sorts. So
bowl cozies, you could have a whole load of kitchen accessories in there.
The bowl cozy's lovely as well. I should remember that one. I designed that one,
You
Jane.
did.
So, yeah, if you're like me, and I really do love matchy-matchy. I'm one for matchy-matchy in my kitchen.
It. Yeah.
So, yeah, this will be the one.
That's beautiful.
Lovely with the hot tomato. It just really gives it that beautiful warmth, doesn't it?
And then there's a little treat here, and there's not much of it. But look at this. It's a nice little bit of Tilda.
This was one of my favourite Tilda collections.
It's just really pretty. It's got a lovely shabby chic feel to it. And that's with our raspberry, which just picks up the deep pinks within the flowers. That's so pretty.
Fabulous.
You'll have to be fastest fingers first with that one.
Definitely.
Nice bit of Tilda. And then we've got a bit of Adrienne Lapin. I love this. Gemma and I were oohing and ahhing about this because it was folded up like this way. And I was like, oh, I love the colours in there. We've just talked about my favourite colour palette. And then Gemma went, well, look at what happens when you open it out. And I was like, what?
You've got all the colours.
This is, can you imagine binding in this? Look at that.
It's stunning.
It's amazing. And
this is my favourite Adrienne Lapin.
We put that with cornflower yellow.
Bar none. It could have gone with absolutely anything, couldn't it?
Not cornflower, sorry, corn yellow.
That's all right.
Cornflower's on the brain.
Because there's cornflower blue this end. That's what it is.
I just love it. Dual colours they are as well, so they're really vibrant. Again, you could have really good fun with bag linings in this.
Yep.
Cutting it up into strips, you could make a Bargello style quilt without even having to cut it, because it runs across the strip.
It's a really special fabric.
A lovely bit of Tim Holtz here. This is lovely, and I love this colour green with these golds and burnt oranges sort of in there.
Principal Methods in moss is lovely, isn't it? Now Natasha used this with some cork. It looked fantastic with cork. So maybe you bought this bundle on Monday.
Imagine making one of the fold-out cases like with this.
Exactly. You could make all sorts of bits and bobs to match. This would be... And also Tim Holtz is stopping designing fabric.
Is he?
No more fabric from Tim Holtz. So this is your last opportunity.
Yeah.
Because once he's stopped and there's no more floating around, then as Inga would say, you've had your chance.
Yep. This is pretty. This is a lovely fabric. Again, you'd have great fun fussy cutting this because you've got like this paisley print with the flowers on. Who's it by? Studio Chem.
Yeah, Studio KM. So that'd be Kelly May Krantz. I'd have thought it was
Byzantium Paisley.
Yes.
And this is with, is it peacock or sapphire? Peacock. Just picks up this lovely rich turquoise within the print here.
Sorry, I'm tapping, Jane.
Gorgeous. No,
I will explain why I'm tapping in a moment, everyone, if you can hear tapping. But it's with very good reason. And it's exciting.
Oh, she's shenanigating. I love that. This is such a fun. You see, I said it again. I love this print. It's such fun. Look at that, ringtails.
Now again, we've had this. We had half of it up with a different colour, and it disappeared. I think it disappeared by breakfast time because this is one of my favourites. And I listed it. I woke up on the Thursday. I checked the web thinking, oh, let's see if it's selling. If it isn't, that's okay, because I'll have some. And it had gone.
Yeah.
So this really is the last that we have of this.
This is with our salmon.
Sadly.
But I think this would look lovely with grey. And you could use it as a vice versa quilt.
Oh, yes.
As a baby quilt when you don't know what the baby's going to be.
Amazing. Jane, can we go close up on that one? Because it's just so lovely. And I think
put
you'll
it
get
that
a
way.
better view of those.
Look at that, they're just fun. Such a fun print. It looks quite pinky on our screens, but it's very sort of peachy salmony colour.
Peachy salmony colour, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, sometimes you can't tell from our cameras.
No.
And we take the images as well. We try and do a video now.
Yes, we do.
Yeah, we do. So you've got 3 different ways to see the half meter heavens. You're seeing them now. We will have images on the product pages when those go live at midnight, but Natasha's little videos come out as well. So keep an eye on the Facebook page. She tends to put videos of the half meter heavens up just so that you can see them. And colour can sometimes be better on there, actually.
Yes.
Dark as you like with our thousands of pounds worth of setup.
If you're watching on your phone or on your computer screen, everybody's monitor is slightly different and gives colour. You know, we see things and we're like, well, that doesn't give the right vibrancy of these fabrics. What's going on? But
how rude.
You know,
Jane, you better do some sewing.
I better had, hadn't I, really?
Everyone's bought all the things. We better show them how to make it.
Show you how to make it.
That'll work.
This is Lisa's pattern. This is the Asian Screams pattern.
That's what I'm tapping at the moment. There will be digital going live momentarily. That's what I'm working on.
Thank you, Lisa.
Yeah.
Now, I have scribbled all over my pattern.
Which is fine.
Lisa wouldn't mind. In fact, she'd probably endorse it.
I think so. She has the cup of tea rule, doesn't she, Lisa?
Yeah.
She says, have a sit down, read through your pattern, work it all out, have a cup of tea, and then make your item.
You are going to. This is a lovely pattern. It's easy. It's so straightforward, easy to follow. The only thing I will say to you is you need to be organised, because each piece of fabric has a letter assigned to it. So I pinned a little piece of paper with the letter on each piece because some of them are very similar in size. And it is quite easy to get confused. Ask me how I know. It goes together beautifully. Lisa has worked it out mathematically, so it fits together like a glove.
Amazing.
You've got your main print, which you cut quite big pieces from, and Lisa cuts it. Normally we would cut across from selvage to selvage. Lisa cuts this down parallel to the selvage. So you're able to get, when you've got a directional print as well, you're able to get the full scale of the print, which is why it works so beautifully with the Robert Kaufman fabric. So you can see I've made a note on mine which fabrics. My feature fabric is the butterflies and chrysanthemum. Then one of the first complementary fabrics is the dragonflies. I referred to the diagram on Lisa's the photograph on the front of the fabric, and chose where she's got her lovely grey fabric here. I chose to use the dark floral accent one. So once I'd got that, then I worked out from that which ones I was going to use. So dragonflies on the one side, the blue floral, and then the pink chrysanthemums, and then obviously my sashing is the ivory. Made a few notes on for myself there. Binding was navy, but then we changed it to the floral. So I've scribbled all over my pattern, ticked as I've cut, ticked next to the one that I cut, put a label on it. So it's not difficult cutting, straightforward, nice big pieces. But what I will say to you is, as you cut each piece, put a label on it. Yeah. It really will help you. And also with your sizes of your sashing. Now the sashing is cut parallel to the selvage as well, so that the long strips are a continuous piece and you don't have to join them. So again, easy to work out, nice and straightforward. That's all there is to say really about that. It's just be organised. It's straightforward, easy cutting, nice and simple. Your Creative Grids ruler will be your friend. Nice good chunks of fabric, and as we said, it's a great pattern for showing off your accent prints.
Marvellous.
And then after you've cut all your pieces, it literally is follow the diagram.
Okay.
There's a little bit, a brief description at the bottom here about the quilt assembly, and it just says using the quilt layout diagram on the next page and the photo on the pattern cover as a guide, lay out the entire quilt including the sashing. So you need quite a big space really to lay this all out.
That's going on the floor.
Or on your bed.
Yep.
I've found quite often that I will lay a quilt out on my bed as I'm making it, because it's a nice flat big area that will fit on. This is a lovely size quilt. It was small enough so that I could quilt it on my machine, 51 by 56, so a nice single size quilt really, tucked under your pillows and full. But I think a quilt like this, you'd want it prominent display, back of the sofa, or even hanging on a wall.
Yeah, definitely.
Very straightforward. The construction is you make the ladders, as Lisa calls them, these pieces here, those two long ones, these two short ones, and that horizontal one there. You then join those with the sashing to either side of those two pieces there. So you end up with 5 sections of your quilt. You've got your 2 long side pieces, you've got this section at the top and this section at the bottom, and then this middle ladder. So I'm just going to show you how this is all going to go together, and then I'm going to talk about how you can get this to make sure that these pieces here line up, so you get this effect of the sashing running in a parallel line and not sort of zigzagging away, because sometimes that can happen if you just put the pieces together.
Fantastic.
So I've got the majority of this quilt made really.
Which is good because someone's bought it.
Yes. So you've got here, now you can see I've still kept my little labels pinned to the top, so that I know that this, because A and B, top and the bottom, similar, different sizes, but similar when you first look at them, and it would be very easy to get them mixed up. If you've got a very obvious directional print, then you wouldn't. But this one here, it's not always obvious which direction the fabric is.
So set yourself up to succeed, don't jeopardise yourself.
Just take that moment, and I would definitely say do sticky labels and keep the labels on your pieces of fabric until the very last moment. Yeah. So that you know you've got exactly the right piece in the right place. So we've got the top section here and the bottom section there. Look at this, it's beautiful.
If you are someone who prefers a digital pattern, or you are an international viewer, hello, nice to have you with us. The pattern is now available on our website, so you go to natashamakes.com, click on the Watch Live page and scroll down, click View All, or perhaps go to the Workshop Wednesday page, either or, and you will find it. This is the Asian Screens quilt.
And these are the 2 side ladder pieces. That's that way. I lost my diagram there. Yeah, so that's the J, so that goes on the right hand side, and this one, it starts with W and goes on the left hand side. So that's as far as I'd got with this. you can see it goes with the sashing in between each square. The way to work at that out, I found, was to just lay it all out. Got it all pinned together here, it's all pinned. Lay it out with your pieces. So this is piece I, so that's that piece there. Then we've got AA, then we've got G, whoops, which is this piece. Then we've got O, and then we've got AG. So I then placed one of my sashing strips, as your sashing is going to go in between each one, on the right hand side of each square, because I don't need a piece of sashing on this left hand side and I don't need one on this eye piece. So the eye piece here doesn't have any sashing on it. But you can see that quite clearly if you look at the pattern there. We're going to be working on this ladder here.
Such beautiful fabric, look. This is gorgeous as well, this nude, Jane. It's such a nice choice.
It is, it works really nicely. So I'm just going to do 1/4 inch seam down to attach those pieces. And you can do this once you've got everything laid out. There's nothing to stop you chain piecing at this point. So I can take this one, I can line this piece up and sew it down. Did we put the iron on, Gemma? And all the excitement?
We most certainly can. Just put that on now. If anyone hears the sounds of the kettle boiling, that's the iron. Actually, I don't know if there's any water in it at the moment, so it might not make a noise. Natasha was only saying, why is the steam not working? Well, maybe I need to put more water in it. Yeah. It'll work better when you do.
Yeah, it's funny that, isn't it?
A lot of you taking advantage of the half bolt sale. I do not blame you one little bit.
Yeah,
it's one of those,
grab
it while you can moment. And don't forget, if you are buying the half bolt sale, you can pop your mystery half metre in as well. Just make sure you use the code free half metre at checkout.
Just make sure that you select the product first and put it in your basket.
Yeah.
Because if you just stick free half metre into your checkout discount code, nothing's going to happen.
No.
And you'll be very disappointed.
If you're in any way confused, you can always pop it on the notes as well, and we will pop in and have a look. We're good like that.
We try to be as helpful as we can.
We do.
So I've now sewn those pieces on. I'm going to lay it back in my order again, just to make sure that I don't sew the next piece into the wrong place. Kept my labels on. I'm going to press these now, and I've been pressing so that the seam falls under the sashing, which, you know, you might think, oh well, that's not going under the dark fabric, but I found that the quilt settled better that way. Thank you, Gemma.
I've been the iron's heated up enough.
It's perfect.
Until it's been in your bag.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's been folded up.
Backwards and forwards between work and home.
There we go. And this one.
Trying to catch the other bits around the pin.
And then this final one. There we go. So this is still in the order that they need to be in according to the plan. But what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to sew piece I onto the other side of the AA piece on the sashing, just so that that's not floating around on its own. And we'll just press that press on that, and then we'll press up and away, and then that seam will fall under the sashing, just like so. Fabulous.
The pressing makes all the difference.
It does.
It?
And I do recommend that you press each piece as you work, rather than just thinking, oh, well, I'll just press it all when I've finished. So now I'm going to sew AG to O, and I'm going to sew G to AA, joining it with the sashing pieces each time.
It's like piece by numbers, Jane.
It is. It's a bit like painting by numbers. Just might want to just pin it at this point, just because you're starting to get bigger pieces and it can move around while you're sewing. So just maybe pop a pin in each side just to sew that together. And again, we can chain piece that. We can do the both pieces at the same time. Ooh. So I'll just give that a press along there. And then we'll fold that up and away. Oop.
There we go.
We are, and we'll do the same with this one. Oops, sorry.
There's a pin.
It's hiding amongst the flowers.
It was
yeah.
hidden.
So now we just need to join that with this one seam here. So I'm just going to pop that pin down there so that I know that that's still G there. And we'll just join those two pieces together. And we have that centre ladder.
Lovely.
I'll just give that a press.
No problem. Oh, she says. Come on, cameras. It's like laptop, camera, laptop.
Oh my gosh, you've got need to have an extra pair of hands.
Iron, camera, laptop.
Maybe need to move the iron and the
It's all right. It's okay.
to a different place so that we don't have to.
Or just not have me doing 3 jobs at once.
Well, there is that. So that's that central ladder piece. You can see how quickly that came together. I'm going to take all my labels off here now, but I'm just going to leave the one in this corner here so that I know that that's my top left hand side on this corner here. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to join this ladder to the 2 top and bottom sections. Now you can either add your strip that corresponds to the top and the bottom of your ladder and then join it on. To save time, I'd already put that sashing strip onto the top of the sections. So just double checking, I've got C here, that's my piece, that's the right one, because it would be quite easy if I wasn't looking to pick that one up, turn it around, think, right, the narrow piece goes there. So we've got this ladder here. We want this seam here, this piece of sashing here, and this piece of sashing to line up.
Yes.
Now, you may think, well, you just stick it together and sew it. And in theory, that should work.
In theory.
But I would say just line these up, this one here, and then don't worry about anything that's going on this side. If it's a little bit short this side and a little bit long, you've got that little bit to trim if you feel it's necessary, or just eke into your seam allowance.
And you've got room, haven't you?
Yeah.
Room to shenanigans in the sides.
What I like to do is I'd like to take my ruler. Now the sashing strip, once you've sewn the seam, will be like 1.5 wide. But it doesn't really matter about the width of it to an extent. But what I'm doing is I'm taking the edge of my ruler and I'm lining it up with that seam there. lining my horizontal line up with the seam along here.
Clever.
And I'm just going to make a mark in what will be my seam allowance. Now this is an iron away pen, so it doesn't matter if it shows in the seam anyway, because it'll disappear. But if you're using any other marker, it's just in your seam allowance. And I'm doing the same on the other side, so lining my ruler up there with the seam and this horizontal line on my ruler with the horizontal seam, and just making a mark in the seam allowance like that. So what I will do then is I'll take this is the piece of sashing I want to line up with that one. So I just take that, fold that over. I've got my sewn line here, which I line up then with that little mark.
Clever.
And I will pop a pin in along there, and the same on this side. Now my sashing is just a little bit proud on this side. I've obviously, you know, with my cutting gone off slightly because I was doing it mega quick. But that doesn't matter, it's less than 1/8 of an inch, it'll disappear into the seam allowance. I can then just pin the rest of it against that sashing strip, but I know now that this is going to run parallel to that piece of sashing, so when visually you look at it, your eye just sees a straight line. One of my quilting teachers told me that your eye is always looking for a straight line, which is why they advise you when you're joining big pieces for borders and things to use a 45-degree seam, because your eye doesn't see it as easily as it would a straight seam. And I thought that's fascinating, really. How your mind works.
For sure. This is a beautiful, beautiful quilt.
Isn't it?
Yes.
So now it's just a case of sewing that to the sashing.
Jane, we have many congratulations being thrown your way today.
Oh, yes.
Congratulations from a Thursday Grandma too, from Ginny Mackie. Congratulations, new nanny from a Nonna, that's from Lo.
Thank you.
There's lots going on here. We have people losing their internet and then getting cross because they couldn't buy their bits and bobs and their products. The internet can be such a swine.
Can't it just?
Hey, we're sorry. Sorry, Sue.
It's, you know, that is something that we just have no control over, isn't it? And it's just, you know,
absolutely.
and we have it here. One minute it works fine, and then the next minute it's like, no internet connection, and you're like, what? You were there a minute ago.
Yeah, very fancy schmancy internet as well.
Yeah.
Cynthia's joined us over on YouTube as well in Southwest Ohio. She says, coffee time, looking forward to today's tutorial. And Anne's with us from a blustery Cyprus.
Ooh.
She says they have a yellow weather warning out today.
Oh no.
I know. Well, stay safe and warm and cosy. And indoors, I feel.
Yes, definitely.
And yellow weather warning. Stay in. Stay in.
Absolutely. That's an indoor time. Sit and sew. There we go. So we've got that sewn on now. We'll press that up and away. No, we won't press it up and away. We'll press it towards the seam. The sashing
I'm
seam.
just having a little drink.
You do
I'm
that.
stepping out the way and having a little drink.
Good for you.
You think, oh, I'm getting a bit croaky.
Yes.
Let's start.
Well, you have to do such a lot of talking, don't you? Doing all the presenting and
I'll be
everything
honest.
else.
Regardless of whether I have to, I just do in general, my darling. It's just how it is. Although I don't talk in my sleep, unlike my lovely husband.
Well, I do apparently. I tunter in my sleep.
Lovely husband was talking a lot in his sleep the other night, so much so that I recorded it. I played it back to my daughter, who was absolutely wetting herself, because none of it makes any sense.
No.
It's all nonsense. But he corrects me within this conversation.
Oh, right.
So he said something that was nonsense, and I repeated it to him in a sort of questioning tone, and he went, no. And then he said what he had actually meant, which also made no sense at all. If anyone else got a sleep-talking husband or significant other, it is quite fun.
I think my mum used to have full-blown conversations with my dad, and he would have no recollection of them in the morning. He used to talk in his sleep.
No,
so
it is good fun.
We're going to do the same thing with this seam here, because when this joins up on this side, we want this seam here to line up with that seam. So we'll do exactly the same thing with our marking.
This is amazing.
We just take that.
I'm so envious. I really wish I could have this lovely quilt top in my home.
Somebody bought this one as well.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
lucky ladies.
Absolutely.
Lucky person. And again, on this side. So, as I said, lining the edge of my ruler up with that seam, the horizontal with the seam that runs horizontally. I've then got 2 marks here, which I'm then going to place on top of the...
Jo Standish sings in her sleep.
Oh, wow.
I mean, if anyone should sing in their sleep, it's me. I sing all the time.
Maybe you
drive
do.
everyone mad at all, does it?
Maybe you do and you don't know.
Oh, well, Guy's such a deep sleeper, he probably wouldn't notice. I've not been told by anyone else, and I, go away with friends and things. You'd have thought someone would have mentioned.
That would have
wouldn't
been
you?
lovely, wouldn't it, to sing in your sleep?
Oh, marvellous. I mean, lovely.
Not me, because I can't sing, but
I
don't think anybody would like me singing in my sleep. They'd be like, shut up, worse than snoring. And apparently I do that as well.
Oh, well, you might as well.
So
full
that sewn line there, I'm matching that up with that little mark that I made in the sashing.
Perfect. It's Erica Collins who's got this this quilt top, and I can tell you that because she said so in the comments.
Oh, right.
So yes, I've checked your order. Yes, it's there, Erica. You're all right. Because I think that's my quilt top I've just purchased.
Oh,
she hopes so. But yeah, it is. I've checked. It's yours.
Lovely.
It's yours, and it'll be on its way to you with your lovely binding piece as well.
yes, you'll get your piece of binding.
Make sure you've got your 3 metres of standard width for backing. We do think that small floral is a really excellent choice. And 1.5 metres of your wadding, and you'll be away.
Yeah.
You'll have a quilt in no time.
Perfect.
Okay?
Again, just lining that sashing up. You could do it either side of your sashing piece, just in the middle of your square. It all lines up beautifully. As I say, Lisa's taken the time to make sure it's all matches up, the maths works.
You've set everyone off saying up, up and away. They're all coming out with way up in the air in my beautiful balloon.
Managed to unthread the machine in my wafting.
Oh, I love a good waft. An impressive thing, unthreading a machine with a waft.
Isn't it just?
Well done.
That's just
What
called
can you
it.
do? I'm just going to move the pattern out of the way.
Yeah, I'll keep knocking it over.
You do. Keep knocking it over. We'll pop it for here instead.
Yeah, I mean it does get quite big, the quilt top.
Waft it away there instead.
So we'll just join that onto there.
Oh, Anne says she is indoors in blustery Cyprus, staying out of said yellow weather warning. She is sewing beach bags. Lovely.
Brilliant idea.
Anne says, morning ladies. Jane, will you be at Quilt Show this year at Utoxeter Derby?
Yes.
Of course.
I shall be there with my Staffordshire Patchwork and Quilters hat on.
You will. It's exciting, isn't it?
Yeah. I love Utoxeter Show. It's just a lovely size show. And they do embroideries there as well. So it's not just quilting. There's some beautiful embroideries to see. There we go. So we've got this piece now attached. So that's your middle section, all attached.
Wonderful.
And then you're going to put the side ladders on. And again, there's a part of that you need to just check that it matches up, and again I'll show you which bit that is. Oh, Gemma, she's like, move to the other side of the studio
got to the
now.
point where you've got quite a large bit of quilt going on. So I'm moving left, I'm moving right, I'm moving all over the shop. The wonderful thing about a laptop.
Yes, very handy.
That way, it's all fine.
Very handy to be portable and move along. Move down, just like Alice in Wonder's Tea Party.
Exactly.
So you're going. This is the middle section now. So you can see how. See, wafted it off anyway.
Told you you would.
I'll just leave it.
I said I'll just put it somewhere else for you to waft on. You're wafting the machine unthreaded, you're wafting the pattern on the floor, it's all going on, Jane.
So I've got my J stripe ladder here. This goes on the right hand side and then this one goes on the left. And again, it's just making sure that it's lined up, and it's this section.
Ah, there we go.
That needs to line up with there.
Nice.
So again, you do it twice with your, just make sure I have got that lined up. Yeah, it's that section there and there.
Yeah. Just hold it for you.
Missed the...
We haven't got a big bed to lay it out on
No.
at the moment.
So again, I will just take the...
Anne says she'll come and say hello.
Oh, that'll be nice. Yes,
please
do.
always do.
Yes,
When it was Festival of Quilts, we had some people pop and say hello, and it was lovely. It's
always lovely to meet people because, of course, you know, we don't actually get to see people when we're doing this. We're just talking to ourselves, basically. And it is always lovely when people come and say, "Oh, hi, I watch you on Natasha Makes," or...
And it's nice to see you in the comments as well. And then, you know, people come up and they say, "You won't know who I am, but..." Like,
yeah, it's lovely to put faces to names as well.
We know who you are. We know those stories.
So you can see there that I've marked both sides. And I will do the same on the other side. Now, I don't know whether it's worth sort of just watching me sew long seams. I don't know. Or whether we say, I'll get this finished and it'll be done for the...
If you want to do that seam, I can put us into wide shot and we can have a chat, Jane. We can chat. You can tell us a little more about the wonderful events of last week. Yes. What do you reckon? Is that all right? Is that allowed? Is that allowed? Are we allowed?
I think so.
So you are now a glam-ma, I say.
I like that.
Glamorous grandma. That's what you are. This is very exciting, isn't it?
It is.
First grandchild.
My first grandchild.
Aww.
And she is absolutely adorable. She arrived in the early hours of Thursday morning. Poor old Charlie, her mummy had a bit of a torrid time with it, but is healing nicely and everybody's doing okay, which is the main thing.
Yes. Quite often it's a challenge getting them here, but they're all worth it once they're here, aren't they?
And a healthy £8 3 ounces,
Aww.
which everybody goes, "Ooh, that's a big baby." And then you get this big baby in your arms and she's a tiny little dot of a girl. Aww. She's beautiful. I would say that. I'm a granny, I'm biased. There you go. What can I tell you?
That is absolutely allowed. It's the tiny little fingernails and things, isn't it? And when they put their tiny little hand, they wrap it round your finger or your thumb.
She gripped my thumb and I said to Glenn, just take a picture of this. It's just so cute. A little tiny hand that literally, the top part of my hand there, from my knuckle to my... from there to there, this little hand wrapped round my thumb. You can't tell I'm besotted with her, can you?
Every time you see a new baby and you see all this tiny, weeny detail on them, you think... How are all these tiny details there? You know, like you say, perfection, absolute perfection. So lovely.
And I'm sure other grandparents will sort of agree with me here. You see your child with their child, and I don't know, it's just amazing.
That's the thing, isn't it? Yeah. My mum's always said having children was great, but it's much better having grandchildren.
Well, they say, don't they, that being a grandparent is the reward for being a parent.
And she just, my mum was with me actually when I had Meg. And she knew more than the midwife did, bless her. The midwife hadn't done an unaided delivery before. It's all a bit of a shock. I know. I was quite quiet, you see, and I didn't make a fuss. And then they sort of realised that actually, oh no, this baby's coming out now. So I had to throw someone out of a delivery room and pop us in and throw this midwife in who was quite unsure about this. And my mum was brilliant. My mum said, I just wished I could have got on the couch and done it for you.
Oh.
But it is that lovely thing of, she said, you know, seeing me with Meg is just incredible. Incredible. So yeah, you're lovely Isaac with his new little girl.
I know.
It's very exciting. Very, very exciting. But we've had a few new grandmas last week.
I've been very lucky that I've been able to see her twice so far. And as Gemma mentioned, I think you mentioned, didn't you, I'm not here next week. I think Natasha said actually yesterday.
Yes.
And I'm going to go down for the whole week.
Oh, it's just grand. I'm expecting to see lots of lovely new photographs. Sue Langford says, I love new baby smell.
Oh,
yeah,
yes. Just gorgeous.
They are scrummy. And Auntie Lizzie says, I always think that you can see us through the camera, ladies. And Julia says, I seriously hope not.
Can you imagine?
Don't worry, we can't.
It is just sewing. By now, you know, you're sort of quilt wrangling because it becomes quite a large piece to sew together, but
right.
It all comes together beautifully.
It does. This colourway is divine. I love them both. I love them both. If you've got hold of these kits or the samples, please just bear in mind that Natasha, Jane and I do not have them. They've all gone out to you. So we are envious to the max.
Oh, yes. Absolutely.
Hugely envious.
You are just going to love them.
Stunning. And Lisa's pattern is just perfect for these fabrics. It really is.
It could have been written for a better fabric collection, could it really?
Not at all. If we'd have asked her to design something specifically for this collection, she wouldn't have come up with anything better, I'm sure. It's just amazing. But I would love to see, if you are thinking of making this up in Lisa Chandler fabrics, I would love to see what you make.
Oh, yes.
It's a great pattern.
Or caifs, or, you know.
Okay. And if you do have makes you want to share with us, please do pop them up onto our website. We have our Community Makes page. If you go onto the Natasha Makes website, you'll see there's little bars across the top. If you click the Community Makes tab, you can upload your images there. SJ will have to approve them before they go live, so don't worry that you've not done it right. Hopefully it will have gone through. We only have to do that because there are naughty people who would post things that aren't quite for public viewing, Jane.
Yes, that might have nothing to do with sewing.
Yeah, nothing to do with sewing. Takes all sorts in this world. Alternatively, if you do have a make that you'd like Jane to see, or Natasha or myself, then you can email that through to us at info@natashamakes.com and just let us know it's for our eyes only and you'd rather not the whole world see it.
So you can see now how that visually looks like it's a straight piece of fabric. It's running.
And it's certainly will from a distance as well, won't it? I'm moving out the way, Jane. I'm moving out the way.
So we'll get that pressed and then we'll get the other side on, and then there's just two pieces to put top and bottom. I've made them, they just need attaching. I'll just talk about it. I think watching me sew straight long seams is not probably the most riveting viewing.
No, but it would be nice to see the bulk of the quilt top, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
And like you say, that those two final little sashing pieces, I think people can imagine. Yeah.
We'll just lay them on the top and you'll see how they work together. And you can see how gorgeous.
I know. Ugh.
Erica, I am so envious of you having this quilt top. Don't look at the stitching too closely though when you get it.
It's all right. You do a beautiful job, Jane.
You can see here I did have to join the sashing strip because I didn't take enough fabric with me when I left here, so I had to cut mine differently.
But you'd lose that in the quilting, Jane, wouldn't you?
I was going to say, hardly shows. Look, you can hardly see it, even on camera you can hardly see it. So again, we just want to line up that section there with the section on the ladder on this one. Just making sure I've got it the right way up.
So this is, J at the top, AF at the bottom.
Yeah.
I'm referring to your picture, yeah. AF's a little buck, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, nice.
So it's that lovely section that goes against there.
Yep. It's cleverly done, isn't it? So that you don't have too many matches to do.
No.
Like, it's not like you've got lots
There's no seam matching at all because you've got this sashing strip. And as I said, it's just making sure that these two pieces run parallel with your quilt top, just so that you get I can see that there and there.
So yes, Jane will not be with us next week. She will be busily enjoying, well, not with us Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. She'll be busily enjoying life as a glamorous grandma.
Lots of granny cuddles.
Lots of granny cuddles. That does mean, of course, that you have a triple tashing. Natasha will be with you on Monday, Tuesday and Wednesday next week. But then Jane, what's next week?
I'm coming back again, aren't I, on Friday?
Easter, yes. So, Good Friday and Easter Monday, Jane and I will be with you for a very special make, Jane.
Oh, yeah. It's rather stunning.
It is.
It's a big make.
It is.
There are lots of elements to it. It's not difficult. There's just a lot of elements to it. So we're going to do it in a two section. We'll do one section.
Show special.
Yeah, we'll do one section of it, and then we'll do the next section and putting it together.
And this is a fantastic make for summer.
Oh, it's going to be absolutely lovely.
We're very excited about it.
We've got
with the most beautiful fabrics.
Two beautiful items to show you. With the most gorgeous fabric, such fun summery fabric. You are just going to want to do it.
Definitely.
It is lovely.
Definitely. And it's not just for the quilters, so please do watch on Good Friday and Easter Monday. There's a lot going on at the moment, actually, because this week we've got a show on Friday as well. Natasha will be with you on Friday.
Oh, of course, it's last Friday of the month, isn't it? So, Pay It Forward Friday.
Madness, madness. Yes, we'll be launching Pay It Forward 20.
Wow.
I know. And demonstrating Pay It Forward 19, which was, she says, they're up there. The makeup wipes in a drawstring bag.
Oh, yes.
That's a lovely little gift. That's a really nice one for, well, many options, really. I'm going to do some and drop them into my local women's refuge.
Yeah.
I think that's a good plan.
If you've got a new mum, a neighbour that, has just had a baby, it's a good way to break the ice, isn't it? To give her a little gift like that.
So you've got your little bag. And then Natasha has upgraded the wipes.
Oh, that's nice, with a little handle on.
So you can,
Beautiful.
And they're made from the most beautiful bamboo toweling. So that's what she'll be demonstrating on Friday and launching.
Bless
Me
you.
with my fairy sneeze, little pixie sneezes. She'll be launching the new Pay It Forward. Pay It Forward 20.
It's hard to believe, isn't it, that we're on 20? Isn't that wonderful?
I know. In a couple of years now, we've been doing Pay It Forwards.
It's really lovely.
Jane, we're so close to having this one together. It is lovely.
It certainly is. I've just got a little bit of extra sashing going on here. This is going to just set things off slightly, I think. I think it's a difference in the seam allowance.
All right.
I might have to rectify that when we've come off her.
That's okay. And sometimes it is just as simple as you've worked on 2 different machines.
Yeah.
You prep this one at home, working on a different one here.
Just ease that over there.
Sue Langford says, I had a midwife, consultant paediatrician and a student who burst into tears at her first birth and the staff were having to comfort her.
Oh.
Oh. Auntie Lizzie prefers the smell of little puppies to babies. Well, we love them both, to be honest.
Yeah.
It's just that cute little brand new little bodies. They grow fast though. Our Mabel's getting big.
She
Our Mabel
is.
puppy. She's coming up for 9 months now, is young Mabel.
She gets bigger every time we see her, doesn't she?
She's still got the most gloriously soft face though.
Yes. I think spaniels just keep that though, because Daisy, my dog, she's just a mix-up dog, but she's definitely got spaniel in her. She's definitely got spaniel in her, and her muzzle is just so soft.
Aww.
And I think spaniels just keep that softness the whole time.
Beautiful. Find all the pins, out they come.
I will get rid of these tucks, Erica. You will not have little pin tucks in your quilt when it arrives with you.
For something that's speedily put together on the show, this has come together.
You can see how that's come together beautifully. And then you've got your top and bottom sashing pieces, and they've got little cornerstone squares.
Oh, so they have. They're lovely.
And again, they match up. Referring to your diagram, you can see they match up here and here and here and here, and then the little cornerstone in there. So I have pressed those seams outwards. Let me move this up so you see properly in the camera. I've pressed those seams there outwards and these seams in. So when I come to put those in, they lock.
Clicky seams.
Click together beautifully. And so they're going to match up really nicely.
Great.
And the same at the other end. These are pinned together. So that one will sit on there and line up beautifully there to give you...
Just ever so slightly off camera that end there.
Yeah, just to give you the cornerstones. And the same with that piece at the top is the same thing. So it's adding those two on, and that's your quilt top done.
Gorgeous.
So I'll just rectify this sashing piece and get those put on, and then that can be sent to Erica.
Ready for Erica.
Yeah.
Congratulations, and enjoy that one. Jane, thank you.
You're very welcome.
It's been an absolute delight to watch.
Isn't it gorgeous? It's a beautiful quilt. It really is lovely.
It is.
A nice pattern that goes together beautifully. This is the sort of pattern that you'll have in your arsenal, if you like, for keeping to use when you've got a lovely big bold print that you don't want to cut into too much.
Yeah.
And it'll make a beautiful child's quilt, you know, with a panel. You know, you can get these lovely panels, can't you, with big designs on. You could use the panels there with matching squares.
And quite often that's the problem, isn't it? When you've got a print or something and you think, oh, I don't know what to do with it. And, you know, if you get a panel, it may be that there's just some core planes that you really like.
Yeah, that would just work beautifully with it.
For a child's panel. You know, I had like the caterpillar ones, things like that. And you can just pick out those.
Because this is in a segmented piece, there's nothing to stop you making it like a half for a child.
No,
so you could use this section, that middle section repleated either side. So
look at that from the top, you could sort of see.
Yeah.
if you had this half,
this half
this
piece,
so
yeah,
you know, the top and the bottom being there and
Yeah.
there rather than them being the sides, that could be a really lovely quilt.
yeah. Because all those measurements are there, it's easy to adapt it. It's beautiful.
It's a good one. We love it.
Lovely fabrics.
Oh, Jane, you can have a lovely week off now.
Oh, yes, lots of
nice
cuddles.
Easter.
Lots of baby cuddles.
Absolutely. In the meantime, at midnight tonight, the Half Meter Heavens go live, so please make sure you grab those while you can. On Friday, you will have Natasha here with the Pay It Forward, launching Pay It Forward 20 and demonstrating number 19. And then Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday next week is a triple tashing live shows, so make sure you're around for those. You know what she's like. She'll have fabulous things to do and lots of mischief along the way.
Yeah.
And then Good Friday and Easter Monday, we have our pre-recorded shows for you, doing the most beautiful, beautiful make.
Absolutely gorgeous.
But we'll be there in the chat as well to talk to you while it's on.
Yep.
Probably eating all the chocolate in all the world.
Well,
because it's
Friday, hot cross
Easter.
buns
Yes.
till they come out your ears.
Yep. And then Easter
I know
Monday,
people that don't eat anything else but hot cross buns on Good Friday.
Well, my husband eats them all year round anyway, but
Yeah.
he will eat extra
Yeah.
hot cross buns on Good Friday. And then Easter Monday, yes, we'll be there.
Yes.
Chatting and talking you through those makes. They are fabulous. And we'll be coming to you at a cracking deal. Can't say fairer than that, can we, really? No. Lovely to have you with us. Thank you for your support. We are a small team here, and it does mean the world to us. And yeah, I think that's all.
Yeah. Have a lovely
Jane
weekend.
will see you very soon.
Yes. Look out for your Friday newsletter.
Yes, that too.
Yes.
It's all going on.
It is all going on.
I tell you. Thank you so much. Take care. Lots of love.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.